Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles. It's episode 21, right? I'm right in that?
Yeah, we are legal to drink in the US.
No,
yes.
no, it's 22, I think.
Is it 22?
Let me check the SoundCloud.
It is 20
90%
something.
certain it's 21.
Sorry, it's 21. My apologies.
Okay.
There's
That's fine.
21 things there.
That's fine.
I just know it's double figures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone?
But yeah, before we... so, joining me today, as always, playing Sho Daius, I have SteveTheSeregios.
I'm back, bitches!
Playing Hikan, I have Alvarance.
I have a fancy new cape.
Playing Renji, Heir of Nihilus, I have TheNetherlad.
I also have a fancy new cape.
Playing Ziden Shari, I have Robopart.
I already had a cape.
And playing Max, I have Keastreth.
Hello.
And before we get into the recap and everything like that, we've gone and done some artsy stuff, or at least we've had people who can do artsy stuff for us. So
I can't do artsy stuff.
Congratulations, you summed up life.
But yeah, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go through each one. I'm going to very quickly cover some of the artwork I had commissioned ages ago of some of the characters that we've had thus far, or at least. So I'll show one because I think I showed Mara a couple of sessions ago. But I'm trying to if Roll20 would be so kind as to go ahead and let me press buttons. So this should be Tyrina Gall, muscle lady.
She.
Yeah. She's got some muscle. This was I commissioned artist known as
She could
Acrylic
bane breaker me. She could bane breaker me, and I would say thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't seem to expand the image, but okay. But this was drawn by Acrylic Ink, who I also commissioned to draw Mara. I'm a very big fan of their artwork, and I will continue to commission them for things in the future.
Acrylic's great.
Acrylic is very good.
Yep.
I highly recommend checking her out, and in both in the description of this video on Twitch and on YouTube and on the SoundCloud description, I will be including links to people's things when they come up. So that's Tyrina Gall. Going down my list of characters I have here, we have the ever lovely Hikan, who I'll also quickly pop up with this one here, and hopefully it will. It's just being very slow. There we go. That should come up on that one. At least I think it should come up on something.
The sunshine given form.
Good boy.
So happy.
That one was done by Nikki T Square on Twitter, so that is twitter.com/Nikki T Square. She's done a lot of art, mostly fan art for a podcast that Artie and I listen to.
Yep.
But yeah, no, she's really good, and I am really happy with how it came out because he's just so happy and gentle, and then he punches stuff.
It's not coming up on the stream just yet, so I'm just very quickly trying to figure out why it's not coming up on the stream, even though I've pressed show play.
Just cue Brooklyn 99 with like, I've only known Hikan for about an hour, and if anything were to happen to him,
There you go. Okay.
kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Okay. The reason why it's not in Hyrule Chronicles journals, that's probably the reason why. There we go.
Oh no!
Yep, that's okay. It's fine. What I'm going to do is shouldn't take too long. It's going at the speed of whatever my processor is. Coming up now. It's coming up now.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Yay!
Loading. There we go. I hope it's
Good boy.
I hope it's clear, because for some reason the Hyrule Chronicles one also just can't seem to zoom in on the picture, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, it is very. I really do like this as well. It's very good. Okay, so that would be Hikan. And then next on the list, as I quickly hop into their character sheet and fiddle around and make sure.
I like to imagine that when you quote unquote hop into the character sheet, you like Lost Planet, like. And then just...
Oh no.
I imagine it's more of a quantum leap thing.
The boy looks so happy. Damn straight.
He does.
He's like, oh yeah, drinking and punching. Woo.
There we go. Okay. Right. This is this is taking so long. There we go. Okay. Show the players. And this will be Renji, Heir of Nihilus. Netherlad, if you want to explain who's done this lovely piece.
It's not coming up for me at least at the moment, but this lovely piece of artwork is done by Everdol, and I am eternally grateful. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
It might not be coming up for you because you've got your character sheet open.
Oh, I already got my character sheet out. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
You've been there.
Yeah. I'm very happy for this this bit of art, and as you can see, there's even the flecks of Twilight energy, which is really neat. And yes, as I've mentioned before, Renji does wear the occasional makeup.
Yeah.
Pretty boy.
He's very pretty.
He's fashionable like that.
Cool.
Pretty
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
I think in the sketch layer, there's like, I'm an entitled pretty rich boy.
Yeah, about right.
Yeah, it's very true to character.
Awesome. It's very good. Okay, and then
You can even see a little bit of smugness in there.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
I don't like this painting, Charlie. It's smug aura mocks me.
Yeah, Chrome is deciding to have a. It's like it's trying. It's real trying.
It's going. Why are you making me do things?
It's Monday. Can I just not have like the day off or something? Jesus.
I'm gonna have to open another 24 processes for this. Gah!
What do you mean you don't have 24 processes?
You do now.
And
There we go.
this our last commission picture, unless I've missed something out. We have Max.
Yes.
Keastreth, go
Uh,
ahead.
This was
Buff
done for
boy.
me. This was done for me by one Dissatisfied Doodles, also known as Isabel, who can be found on Tumblr and Instagram. And I'm really, really, really happy with it. Also, thank you, Magnoth, for introducing me to Isabel.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I recognized the art style.
Yeah, it's the same one who did Blood.
Glad.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I'm really happy with it.
It is very good. It is.
These are the clothes I'm going to get Max into when I eventually get him to buy some clothes.
Yeah.
Well,
That
yeah,
aren't,
yeah.
that aren't just rags.
So that is soon to be.
Soon
Yeah.
to be. Awesome.
Soon.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, the devil.
Okay,
I want to take 10
Satan.
to 20% off.
I didn't know we were
Oh.
contacting patrons.
Fine.
I mean, I've done that kind of voice only once as a dragon, intimidating my players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daragon.
Phantom Fire. It was the starter set for 5th edition.
Oh, nice.
I have
Okay.
some.
Hmm?
I can do a similar voice, which makes one person at my workplace unreasonably happy.
Oh wow.
Aw.
Oh my.
Oh.
He's like a 40 or 50-year-old man, typical sort of builder kind of guy, but he giggles like a schoolgirl when I use the voice.
What's the voice?
You can't
everyone.
Wow.
Wow.
in a world.
That is wonderful.
Okay. But yeah, so all these pictures that have been done, again, I'll include links to the pictures as well as the people who drew them in the descriptions of the video and the podcast and everything like that. So you can check out other bits of their work. And
I'm gonna copy paste mine into the Discord for you.
Thank you. But yeah, in the meantime, I think that's all sorted out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down the Twitch chat. So thank you, everyone who is in and chatting. I'll see you on the other side. And in the meantime, who's doing the recap for last time?
I wasn't there.
Okay, so last time we decided to get back from Artemark Dungeon, and it was actually a relatively speedy trip once we figured out that since none of us were trained with land vehicles, it would be best to get the guy to that talks to animals to drive the cart. And then we got into the city, and realized that everyone was getting set up for the festival, so we all tried to show off a little bit, except for Ziden, who was like, I'm a man on a mission, and Tyrina, who was like, well, Tyrina. And I fell off my horse, but
And me, because I was a rock.
that's showing off. You were in like an action pose, remember?
I was sad.
You looked dignified.
Yeah.
And I forgot the most important part about the beginning of last episode. Only one Morth survived, unfortunately. But so we all sat there, and then we went to Simeon, and it was a very sad passing. And then we went to Simeon, and Simeon was like, "Where's everyone else?" And we pointed out the front door, and he was like, "Oh, okay. Let me pay to fix him." And it was like, "Cool." And so after dumping a literal fuck ton of books on his desk, we went over to the Temple of Hylian and cashed in our favor to get to the front of the line while Simeon paid for...
I need to interrupt at this moment to not let go of the opportunity to say that Sho is now fixed.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm. He got fixed. Haha.
And then...
Okay.
Fixed
I don't-
is a different term for neutered.
Oh. Oh. Real clever.
Yeah.
And then, so we went back to Simeon's after all was said and done, and got paid 850 gold, Sho, and then we decided to spend it. And...
We paid 850 gold. Sho. You did.
No. We got 850 gold. So you have 850 gold to add to your inventory. And then we went and spent it on on Uriel's marvelous magical machination.
Yeah.
We got a lot of bags of holding.
I got a half a sack.
And we got cloaks, and somebody decided to buy some mithril, and I gave Max all my money.
Because half a sack apparently really expensive for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Haversack is like 3 bags of holding, basically. 3 small ones.
I wouldn't say it's 3 small ones because each compartment is slightly smaller. It's just that it's a bit more organized, and you have it on your back as opposed to like a sling bag over your shoulder. It's harder to remove. Okay, but yeah, that
One of the pockets has been designated money. Because considering how much money we've been getting.
It's the money pocket.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Renji, the first chance he gets, he starts changing everything to gold and platinum.
Yeah. Okay. So, as it has been described, you have it is now pretty much towards the end of the evening. Sho, after you were de-stoned, you were
When I came down.
when you came down, you were still pretty tired after it happened. So Tyrina carried you back to Simeon's estate and put you in a spare room, just to
How undignified.
yeah. And
Slung over her shoulder.
yeah. It's Tyrina. She's not going to do anything elegant.
Carried Madonna style.
Yeah.
Passion of Christ.
Yeah. Oh man.
Bridal.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, So you were carried back to Serious State where you've been kind of sleeping it off. I was more or less going to be skipping to the next day when the festival was going to be happening. But does anybody have anything they would like to do prior?
Yes, please.
Okay, so while you do that, I'm just going to be very quick because one thing I've forgotten to do in all this preparation is get my dice well, not my dice, my
He's
dice
slowly
tray.
vanishing.
Sorry, yeah, I was leaning away to try and untangle a cable.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to go get my dice tray and my book, so I'll be back in like 2 seconds. But
Okay.
yeah, back in a sec.
I can't do this without you.
Come back.
It's
No,
okay.
We need you.
I have
Artie,
a
come
lot.
back.
I have a lot to do.
You can blame
Oh,
it
no.
on me.
I
I have
mean,
I have like 3 things I want to do immediately.
I'm just gonna go in the back garden and read some more books. I don't know.
That's fair.
More Simeon's books, because Max wants to learn things.
Yeah.
Depending on how Tyrene is feeling, I want to arm wrestle.
Oh dear. All right. So I am back. So what is the night before the festival plans, as it were?
I'm going to take
Okay,
a nice long smoke. Um,
Ziden's going to disappear for about 8 hours.
Okay.
I wonder what he's doing.
And
Hmm.
then he was gone.
So I want to make some beer using my brewer's kit, some chew jelly, and the Hinox horn that I have.
Ah.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I want to see if I can talk to Lissa and Manny.
Okay.
Probably specifically Lissa.
Okay.
After that, I want to talk to my dad. And after that, depending on whether or not it's an overcast night, I want to sneak into the library.
You know what happened the last time you did that?
It is indeed an overcast night. But what we'll do before we do anything is we'll touch on the brewing thing because I feel like that might be resolved a little bit. So, Hikan, you have before you your brewer's kit. You have the materials that you've gathered on your ventures thus far and everything that you've bought, as well as various other bits and pieces like water, hops, other herbs, and everything like that you would usually go into an ale. If you would be so kind as to make me a brewer's kit roll based off of wisdom.
That is a 20.
That is a 20. Okay, so
Some good hooch.
what function does the brewers are you brewing this ale for?
I was trying to make a mock potion of giant strength to see if it would work, and then I was going to arm wrestle Tyrena because I had to poke
Fine.
myself with poison sac to figure out that I was resistant to poison.
Go do science.
Okay. Let's see. Potion of Giants. I'm just going to quickly
I'm
see.
wrestle for science.
Just going to quickly see what strength rating the lower one gives. I think it's like 21 or something like that. Let's see. Oil, mace, magic.
Yeah, Hill Giant is 21, and that's the uncommon one, and then
Yeah.
Frost, Fire, Cloud, and Storm go up.
Okay. So you brew this this ale, and you take it up and you kind of give it a look. See it looks really viscous. It's kind of a cross between mud and hot chocolate at first glance, but it has this kind of this really interesting scent to it. It's well, it's definitely earthy for one, but there's like it does seem like there's hints of chocolate, maybe a tiny bit of bacon. It's bizarre.
Huh. I down it.
Okay. So you down it, and you kind of, even though you're perfectly confident in your own skills, you kind of prepare yourself for an immediate rejection, and you kind of sit there and wait for a moment. Nothing happens, and you're like, it's weird. You don't feel stronger, but there is only one way that you will find out whether or not your strength has gone up,
And that's to arm wrestle the strongest person I know.
Okay.
You do this, and Tyrene is going to put that on through the table that you're using it.
So, I go to Tyrena's room and politely knock on the door.
Okay. And she's like, "Coming, hold on." And she wanders over, opens the door, and she's wearing like just the leather armor under stuff that usually goes along with her armor. She has her gauntlets off, and she says, "Hi."
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me with something, since you know I like to make things.
Sure. What can I help you with?
I need you to arm wrestle me.
She kind of like tilts her head to the side curiously and raises an eyebrow and is like, huh? And this...
Preferably with the gauntlets.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuade her to
With my +1, here we go.
persuade her to let go of her
An 8.
inhibitions because she doesn't want to snap you in half.
And she's like, are you sure you want to go through with that? I mean, you see what these things can do, right?
Be aware when the DM asks you if you really want to do this.
Yeah, I took one of those boulders to the face.
And she kind of like...
I appreciate the man's drive.
She kind of stands there for a moment and contemplates something, like weighs the consequences of one side to the other and just like... Okay, but I don't know how many priests are awake in case arms are broken, so just a heads up. And she disappears briefly and comes back, slides the gauntlets on. Says, shall we, I guess, find a table?
This is gonna go poor.
Okay, and I think that, like, is there a table in like the library? No, I don't want to do the library. Library would be a bad decision.
You find a spare
The
table,
only other area...
like near enough. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So she kind of like clunk, the like heavy arm just like elbow on the table, hand at the ready. She kind of has to slide the elbow back a bit because like her her arm is much longer than yours. So it's just You ready?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so roll an athletics check as if your strength was 21.
Oh.
And try and beat a 9.
23.
Nice. Okay, so you lock hands,
Oh boy.
clasp, and then there's kind of a bit of a struggle, and then you can see Tyrena's expression change from kind of like curiosity to excitement to confusion as her arm slowly begins to slide backwards. I'm gonna need another one.
A 10.
So she kind of like bites her lower lip slightly and pushes the arm back up, and it's back in the middle again. We're gonna need more. I feel like I'm gonna need more epic music for this. I think.
What's the one from the
Of
Continue
course, that is
show?
necessary.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
that's like a 10-minute Nightwish song. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Let's see.
At some point during this, Max is walking past them, having gone to get another book, and he's just staring like, "What the fuck?"
The music that plays when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3.
This'll do.
Ultimate Battle from Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, the fucking Ultra Instinct music.
Okay. So now it's back in the middle. I'd like another athletics check.
I need Ultra Instinct to
A
come.
oh, okay.
Okay, so she kind of like, and then you focus. It's weird. You kind of enter a Zen state, but for the first time, almost like focusing entirely on physical might, and you push and push and push, and you see that the back of her hand is almost about to hit the table. And you need one more, potentially, if you can beat her again. 16, 18.
18.
Clunk. And, yes, back the metal gauntlet part of her hand just smacks against the wood of the table, and, he kind of withdraws.
Wait, I'm confused. Didn't Tyrina get the natural 20?
Oh yeah, no, Tyrina did get the natural 20. You
Oh,
should
right.
be back in the middle.
Oh, should be back in the
But you
This isn't ended yet.
But you press the advantage again after that.
Yeah.
It's not done.
It's not done. Okay. Yeah, so it's back in the middle.
It's currently advantage card.
Mm-hmm.
Because he pushed forward, Tyrina got back to the middle, and now Hikan's pushed again. So it's advantage card.
Hold on.
All right, I got this.
Okay.
He's gritting his teeth at this point.
Okay. 11.
Ooh, that's.
And with a 14, she's pushing it slightly down. So from the middle, it's going to need one. So it's going to need 2 more victories in her favor in order to beat you. See if she only rolled an 11 this time with the 20 back
And
in
that's a
the
20.
middle.
Artie.
Yeah.
You're probably
We
both
don't
dripping
get
with
instinct Hikan.
both dripping with sweat, struggling.
Max is just so confused right now.
Yeah.
His eyes are locked with like gritted teeth grins.
This is like a moment when a normal, like, cartoony anime, like, adopts a JoJo art style for a flash moment where all the lines start getting very thick and cross-hatched.
Yeah.
Like, ah!
So you managed to,
Where did all this ink come from?
managed
All
to
of the
push.
budget is gone on animating this one-arm wrestle.
So, Michi.
Damn.
17. It's a crit fail. So it's. And it goes all the way down. One more victory in her favor would push your hand down onto the table.
Come on.
Not this time.
Mother.
Natural 20.
No, we need
Back
it.
to
We
the
need
middle.
it. Artie, I don't care.
And I thought my plans would take a lot of time.
A 15.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I need this.
Oh boy.
Damn.
Pushes it one stage in. There's one stage against you. There's kind of like the expression of confusion, and it was briefly changed to concern before eventually becoming excitement. And she pushes the advantage once again. BAM!
Oh, that's it.
Table cracks underneath the sudden.
Like literally cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
Is
Oh,
his
no.
hand okay?
K.O.
We're gonna need that priest after all.
Yeah. So it's not like the table split in half, but there's like a definite like fissure in the wood. Yeah. She kind of lets go and throws her hands up in the air. Yeah. Oh shit. Are you okay? I'm really sorry.
No, it was fine. I learned a lot. Thank you, Tyrina. I'm shaking my hand.
Shit.
He says.
I have one question.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I'm confused as well. How'd you get so strong?
So you remember that Hynox that we killed?
Yeah.
Well, I took its horn, and so I got bored one day, and I think we told you about me mixing some of the poison sacs from the spiders with some chew jelly in my brewer's kit, and how it made me resistant at least, or at least not affected by poison from the sac. And so I thought to do the same thing with the Hynex horn, and it worked. It worked really well. Thank you.
Oh.
I was more asking why you were pushing each other's hands so much.
Oh, it's a test of strength, and I wanted to see how well my thing worked.
Okay.
Max, since you're here, and I kind of gesture embarrassed to the table.
There's a long, slow glance down, then back up at you, and then he just rolls his eyes and fixes the table. It's magic.
Thank you.
Whew.
Good thing I was here. And Max walks off.
So Tyria just kind of like puts her hands on her hips and looks over and like nods with a smile. And yeah, so while that had transpired, was there before I do go onto the Renji heist, what is there anything else anybody specifically needed to do before the festival the next day?
Sho's skulking back to the castle.
Okay.
He just basically, I need to walk and like get back into physical, like, because I spent a like while as stone. I need to walk this off like a bad hangover.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Just walking down the street, just taking long drags from his pipe. It's like pop, like bones popping, just like click click
What was Max up to?
Is there a chance to talk to Simeon?
Sure. He's awake rather late as usual, sitting in the study reading over the pile of books that you've provided him.
Max hovers nearby for a bit until he realizes that he's probably not been noticed yet, and then just sort of clears his throat.
Oh, hello, Max.
Hi.
How might I help you today? Or this evening?
You're a guy who knows a lot of things, right?
Well, I do my best to make that my business. But I suppose I do.
What do you know about dragons?
There's kind of like there's the slightest hint of a frown. It says well, dragons, as far as I'm aware, are part of some of our greater legends. The Gorons have one. They're rather proud of it. Have you heard of the dragon Volvagia before?
I don't know. I think it might have been mentioned.
Volvagia.
Joe said he had a scale from it.
Oh yes. Volvagia is or was a like a colossal fire dragon, an ancient one with powers of the primordial that would, well, to put it simply, if left unopposed, would leave the entire land a scorched, blasted wasteland from which nothing can recover. But the Gorons had a hero among them who took a great hammer and sealed it in the heart of Death Mountain. Hopefully, that's either a story or that thing isn't getting out anytime soon. There are a few dragons. I know that dragons exist, but there hasn't been one seen in the land of Hyrule for centuries, possibly even millennia. Did you want to know anything?
You said the one, that volcano one, could burn everything. Are they all bad?
I'm not sure. I don't think we've met enough to really get a handle on what it might be, what their motives might be, as it were. I can assume that because of their intelligence, they would have some level of morality, and there might be some good ones. I wouldn't put it past a dragon or two to be of a more positive influence. But there is, of course, going to be instances where there are the bad ones, like Volvagia.
Right.
I'm sorry I can't provide much more information, and to be honest, the only individual who I know would have some form of knowledge of dragons would be Lord Draenor, but he's been missing for months. We have no idea where he's gone, and well, his knowledge of the arcane would be remarkably useful at some point. Hopefully he comes back.
Ash just nods and like walks off, subconsciously scratching his shoulder.
As you're about to leave, Sima says, if you find yourself troubled at any point. I know that you have more of a relationship with Ziden and the others, but if you do need to talk about anything, do let me know. I would be more than willing to help.
Thanks. See you talk tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mm.
Then he returns to his readings. Are you planning anything else?
Just gonna sit under a tree and read something.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do Renji's thing. So,
Yay.
cutting back a couple of hours, you find yourself, you look up to the sky as you walk up the path up to Hyrule Castle, and you find yourself smiling briefly as you see that the clouds still haven't parted. It is indeed going to be an overcast night. As you pass by the first portcullis, and the guards stand and salute and ready, you pass through the courtyards, pass by the training soldiers, and you find yourself in the armory and the blacksmith where Lissa and Manny are working. Well, you see Lissa, Manny somewhere in the back as usual, hammering away on something until he gets it right. And Lissa looks over and says, "Oh, well, haven't seen you in a while."
Yeah, breastplate's been holding up pretty well, so didn't really see a need other than social niceties, and I've not had a lot of free time lately.
Well, it's good to know that you're still in one piece. I'm not sure your dad would forgive me if anything were to happen.
Yeah, about that. I found out that this, and I tap the breastplate, might not do everything I might need of protection.
Are you belittling my work? Because
I am not belittling your work. I am just saying that a breastplate alone doesn't suit my growing need for protection.
I see. So you're looking for something a bit more robust.
Yes, and I've been talking to Uriel from the magical shop.
Oh,
and I've managed to procure, or at least order, not yet, it's not yet in, I've managed to order some mithril. I was wondering if you can work with that to maybe create a a larger suit of armor than just a breastplate. I'm not talking like full plate, but something in between, to something that is light but protects me better.
She smiles slightly and kind of just, yeah, I don't think your scrawny ass is going to be fitting into any full plate anytime soon. Okay.
Now, come on, this
half plate.
But true, yes.
Okay. All right. Gonna need to take your measurements again, but I think
fair enough.
I can work out something. I don't think I've got anything within that size. Usually, most of the guards are either in full plate or in their chainmail or something along those lines. But I think I can work something out. Sure.
How much time would that take? If I get you the mithril tomorrow.
I haven't worked with mithril a lot. Usually stuff like that, mithril, adamantium, it's restricted primarily for the royal family themselves and some of the very elite guard. But I can, well, I think I can bend mithril a little. That'll probably take about, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna take a week's worth of work. That's okay.
I think I can promise not to get injured in that time, or not at least not too badly.
Better damn hope so.
Yeah, otherwise you'd get a problem with my dad.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, okay. Well,
So Renji is going to unstrap his breastplate so that Lissa can get at least the measurements ready.
she takes out a tape measure and goes through the
Mhm.
business of measuring her arms, legs, and thigh, all that kind of stuff. All the basic things where she'd need to know
Right.
how to curve the metal and stuff.
Yep.
And then she kind of puts it to one side, writes everything down on a nearby notepad, and says, "Well, as said, when you get me the mithril, I can begin work pretty much immediately, unless something big comes up."
Right. I'll get it to you as soon as I have it.
Okay, that's good to know.
How's Manny?
He's doing okay, isn't that right, Manny? And he says like, I guess. He's like, yeah, he's doing fine.
Right. Have a good evening.
You too. And she says,
And I head for the castle to talk to my Lissa hasn't mentioned a price or a fee, has she? No.
No, she hasn't.
I don't think I need to talk to my dad then.
No, maybe not.
Okay. In that case, if it's dark, then I want to go to my room, cast invisibility,
Okay.
and head towards the library.
Okay. So I'll change the music to something a bit more dramatic.
Bum,
And
bum, 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 bum,
Fair enough.
bum, 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 bum,
Need some Metal
bum,
Gear
bum,
music.
bum, 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 na, 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 na.
Okay.
Da-da.
So you head to your room. As
Mhm.
night properly falls, you cast a spell upon yourself. You slip out.
Oh, before I do, I want to make sure that there's no mud tracks on my boots or anything that would leave traces.
Yeah, you make sure nothing is traceable, and after casting invisibility upon yourself, you slip out and you follow the halls as you always have done, where you know exactly where to go, you know exactly what to do, and as you kind of round corners, you instinctively you see guards wandering, like trudging through the halls, the night guard, and you kind of for a moment hide back around the corner, but then realize, oh, it's fucking invisible. So you just kind of saunter past them, and eventually find yourself at the great doors to the library. They've been left open, thankfully. Probably when the other scholars had been careless in their departure that evening.
No worries, I would have been able to open them anyway. So I know that there's a kind of like separate section where the scholars work, and I head there, and from where I found my book that explained the pacts, at least how to make it. I head to the smaller secret alcove where I found that tome.
Okay. You follow this path that you've made in your mind. This journey feels like well, it feels all too familiar. Like there's this kind of sense of dread as you follow the way back down to this section where you found the tome that sadly introduced you to the Harvester, and you find yourself, like, thankfully because of your eyesight you don't need a torch, as there is no torchlight in this room, but you cast a glance around and see through the dark to these books that are on the shelves, these tomes written in these unknown languages, gathering dust, for they have not been touched for years, at least not since you came here last time.
Right. So there's this. The book that I found was written in a common cipher.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to find books that are about the Twilight Realm,
Okay.
about the Harvester, or books that are written in Twilight.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Gotcha. Investigation. That is a normal roll. 12.
Okay. So you spend a good amount of time trying to go through these books. Eventually, like as you find a couple of things that might be of use, you feel the tail end of your invisibility come to pass, and you kind of
Mhm.
fade back into view. But you're the only one in the
I
room.
cast invisibility again.
Okay. And as you do so, you disappear once more, and you begin to read through it, and you see these you see like these images and the Twilly script, and all these and other Sheikah tomes, ancient Hylian, all these different languages. But you, using the cipher, you can quite easily pick through them.
Also, I read Twilight generally.
And as you do, a voice kind of picks its way into the back of your mind and goes, "If you wish to know more, you could have just asked me, Renji."
Didn't want to be rude.
How considerate of you. Very considerate.
I've been thinking about what you said back in the Artemog dungeon.
Oh, you intrigue me. Go on.
It's just that I want to know more about what I'm dealing with, about what I might be giving to you.
Of course.
And all the while, as this happens, Renji's like, the hair on his neck is standing up, and he's feeling like not comfortable at all. As I look through this text, I say, well, I know from the previous book that you give the power in exchange for whatever it is that I harvest.
Absolutely. Anything with a soul, anything organic and fleshy, that is what I desire.
So how about undead?
Oh. Undead are useful, yes, but, well, they're so limited. Their living functionalities have rotted away almost. Fresh meat is preferable.
Do you have any preferences in that?
Oh. Anything that exhibits something out of the ordinary. That fiery bat. The purple thing linked to a demon. That giant wolf. There's so many different things that you have provided me. Of course, the greatest meal that I could possibly hope for is something on par with your friends, perhaps.
I think you've said enough to slake my curiosity for now.
You're a good pawn, Renji. You may make mistakes sometimes. May try to avoid our little contract. But I know that your heart is in the right place.
As he says that, my muscles tense up, and through gritted teeth, I say, I am not going to be a pawn.
Oh,
you,
don't be
not for
like
my
that,
family.
Renji. You need me.
Oh, I don't care if I need you. I am just not a cog in any machinery. I am not a pawn.
But
And I just realized that I'm speaking out loud, and I shut my mouth.
dear Renji, you need to be a pawn in the great machine that is my machinations. After all, where would you be if it was not for the spells that I have granted you, the blades that you wield? Why, you would be nowhere. Nothing but a mere dead weight to your friends. And nothing more than dead, lying in a pool of your own blood and dear Daddy's disappointment.
Right.
Dwell on that hypothetical,
you going-
Renji. Use
Are
it.
you going to? Are you going to leave, or are you going to just keep gloating?
I will allow you to dwell within your own thoughts, but keep that hypothetical in mind. Use it to remind yourself of your place in all of this.
And silence.
As the silence falls, I drop to a knee. My heart is beating in my chest. I am taking very shallow breaths, and I just quickly grab all of the books that I found that would indicate anything. Just stow them in my pouch, in my bag of holding, and I run out of there.
As you begin piling stuff into your bag of holding, you through your own power, like through the tension, like all your senses are like going in overdrive at this point. You hear somewhere in the library, "Someone there? Hello?"
I try and sneak through. Like, this only just happened after I renewed my invisibility, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I try and sneak out of this secret alcove, and knowing that I'm still invisible, I try and move so that I'm not disturbing anything, like no curtains or books, pile of books or shelves or sheets of paper.
Normally I would
To try and
normally I would allow this to pass automatically, but because of the mental state that you're in, I would need a stealth check with advantage, please.
With advantage.
Yes.
Okay. That is an advantage as 8. That's a 19.
Nice.
Oh, that was a natural 1. Natural 1 or an 11.
Oh.
I am very happy with that.
Yes. So, you begin to maneuver, and you kind of like, you find yourself glancing at shadows, and being ultra cautious about everything that's transpired. And as you make your way out, you can see Mara with a lamp, and she's not in her usual attire. She's kind of got this sort of like dressing gown on with rather what's the word? A conservative nightdress, and the only thing on her is this necklace that she wears around her neck, and she's kind of looking around rather kind of with a look of caution and fear, but still doing a due diligence as librarian. But you
in that case, I'll cast Prestidigitation and have some like footsteps running off in the deeper into the library,
Okay.
away from the door.
Okay. So you make the sound, and she looks in that direction. It's like,
And I hurry towards the door.
and you slink out and return to your room, and I'm guessing not have a particularly pleasant night.
I'm trying for a long rest, but if you say that I'm not able to, I'll just take a short rest and renew my spell slots.
Make a wisdom save.
A wisdom saving throw. Oh boy.
24.
That is a 24.
It's a struggle, but you do manage to find yourself getting some sleep at the very least.
I definitely need some calming, breathing exercises to get me in that mindset.
Yeah.
Because that was quite something.
Yeah. Yeah. You all find yourselves rested up, and next, effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead of a couple of things. So, you wake up, you have your breakfast. Simeon reminds those present at the estate that that he's doing his little lecture today at his family's graveyard. If people would like to come along, but
Show's going.
Okay.
Ziden will go.
Okay.
And I am as
Would Renji have heard him speak about this?
Yeah.
You
We heard it yesterday.
You
Yeah.
mentioned it last time.
Yeah.
If it doesn't interfere with getting the mithril from Uriel and bartering / discussing other magical items, then I would go as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you stop off. I would say you'd stop off at Uriel's in the morning. You pick up the mithril, and then you head back to Lissa and give it to her. Right,
because I also want to talk to Uriel about the Pearl of Power or something else.
Okay. That's fine. Let's see.
Because if he does not have a Rod of the Pact Keeper, and I'm going to ask him very tentatively about that, because I don't immediately want to, I have to give away that I'm a Warlock for him, to make sense of my request. I'm not going to mention anything about my pact.
Okay.
If he doesn't have a Rod of the Pact Keeper, I just want to buy the Pearl of Power outright.
Okay, so you speak to Uriel. He kind of sees you come in the morning, and he says, "Well, howdy, and welcome back to Uriel's magnificent magical machinations. I believe I've got some mithril for you."
Good morning, Uriel. Yes, you do. We talked about the Pearl of Power yesterday.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had something else. I know you're a wizard, someone studying the arcane arts.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself in the possession of some magic myself, not through any internal or natural meaning. I wonder if you have anything to amplify or boost that sort of power.
Well, and he thinks on it for a second and says, so you're saying you're one of them, what's the word I'm looking for? Now?
I have the music cut out just then.
Yeah.
Oof. You're one of them, a little like the religious type. Well, I can provide you with.
What do you mean I'm not a religious type? I go to the temple of whatever name, Chronica.
Yeah, totally religious. Yeah, you can tell. So religious.
So religious.
He says, well, I have something for folks like y'all, but I have to ask, is it at least safe? Did you get a lawyer? Did you do that at least?
I've read up on the terms.
Right. And he heads back, and he comes back with what appears to be a clipboard and a piece of paper on it, and it says, I'll need you to sign this waiver just to say I'm not responsible for selling you this thing.
Who's this going to be seen by?
Any authority that comes a knocking, that's who.
Okay. I kind of want to forge the signature.
You can make a sleight of hand if you'd like.
I'm not very good at that, but I'm going to try it.
Okay.
That's a 19. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, who do you forge it as?
I'm going to forge a signature of Impa.
Oh, mistakes have been made.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to forge Lord Rickshaw's signature because I've seen that on the work notice.
That you have, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say the court Sheikah don't sign a lot of things.
So he kind of looks at it. He looks at you. Looks at this. This is kind of like a squint. Says, "Well, all right." And he slides, takes the pen and the clipboard, and puts it down, and he goes over to one of the lockboxes. There's a click, and he pulls it open and provides you with what appears to be a very basic-looking cylinder of black metal.
Okay.
And he says, this right here is something that was sold to me by a fella who also made deals such as yourself.
Music goes silent again.
This I would sell to you for 500. It's not exactly the most powerful version of this magical focus, but it is something.
Sorry, could you repeat the price? I didn't hear it exactly.
500 gold pieces.
500 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, could I buy this and the Pearl of Power for 950?
Make a persuasion check.
I am very happy for the ability score improvement and the proficiency bonus improvement. That is a 19.
Oh god, I'm glad that you've already done the signing because Averdal raises a good point. You could have forged my signature.
Yeah. No.
I thought he was going to say it, and I was going to be like, oh man, that bus is going to crash into Renji when this comes back to bite him.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset Sho.
I don't
That is
mean
not
to,
a good
I
idea
don't-
for now.
I don't mean
Even
to
though
tell
I
you
just
this.
forged it as Lord Rickshaw.
I
Right
don't
now.
mean to tell you this, friend.
Hmm.
You've upset me too many times already.
So he kind of...
Yeah, but forging it as Lord Rickshaw, we're all in your corner on that one.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he kind of looks you up and down, and he says, "Now, I have to advise you, Sir, Lord, that I am effectively selling you the rod at a discount here. I would be asking for at the very least 1,000 gold for both those items together." He rolled a nat 20 on his insight.
Ah. Well, you do drive a hard bargain, Uriel, but I can tell the quality of mithril here, and yeah, if that's your price, then that is what I'll pay.
Okay.
And I put down 20 platinum pieces, and then start counting out. Well, like making stacks of gold pieces that eventually total 800 gold pieces, which is a total of a value of 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay. Do you have anything on you at the moment that that required attunement beforehand?
I only have the Cloak of Protection as an attuned item.
Okay, so
Das Ruby of the War Mage that I gave you at the beginning.
I don't have that.
Who took it then?
it's probably lost in the bag of holding somewhere.
Oh boy,
But yeah, so both the Rod the Pack Keeper and
I've
the Pearl
never used that.
Yeah, Rod the Pack Keeper and Pearl of Power both require attunement, so this would take up all of your attunement slots.
Right.
Yep.
That is fair. So that is 800 gold less and 20 platinum less.
Yep.
I am a little bit more poor now.
Ah.
Oh no, what a shame.
I'm luxury to say that.
Okay.
Looks at my 2 gold pieces. Yeah, what a shame.
So Uriel takes the money and passes the item and says, "Now you be careful now, and don't go telling people I didn't warn you."
I'll keep that under advisement, Uriel. And let's see. Also, if you tell anyone about the document I signed, or anyone about the rod that you sold me, without any proper governmental or justicial power behind it, we will have words. And
Make an intimidation check.
I figured that is a normal roll. That's a 23. Oh my goodness, why am I rolling so good?
You know that's something I'll have to come to pay you back for it.
I
Someday.
know.
As soon as
Probably
we
in
get,
combat.
as soon as we get in a fight.
Matt, one.
Ones. Ones as far as the eye can see.
Oh boy.
Or it goes the other way, and as soon as we're in a fight, anything that hits you gets natural 20s.
So
Oh no.
you kind of make this statement, and he kind of just clasps his hands together and takes a couple of steps towards you. He's shorter than you, but he gets right up in your face, and you can
Oh shit.
and you feel the entire room around you just begin to rumble. And he says, "I welcome you to try, son."
That
You've
would be
gone
interesting,
down,
wouldn't it?
done did it now, boy.
I'll be cooperating with the authorities if they ask me about any nefarious dealings that you have been doing. That is what the contract is for, so that you're aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can only do
I
my
understand.
due diligence by the law. I won't be blabbing about it. That's your own business. I feel it's probably best if you're going to divulge such a secret to other people, you're going to have to do it yourself. You need the spine for that, though.
Trust me, I bought these things not to mess with the law. I bought these for the services of our ministers. I just don't want any rumors spreading around that you're, bad-mouthing a lord.
Of course. Of course. I believe I understand that. Now,
Thank you for the mithril, and I'll be sure to advertise your shop whenever I am with friends who are in need of such magnificent machinations.
Of course, that would be too kind. And then the rumbling stops.
Hmm.
And he makes his way behind the desk again and waits and watches you leave.
I put the mithril in the bag of holding and head back to Hyrule Castle to deposit it, and then head to Lord Simeon's estate.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad choices were made.
Mistakes were made. That's just going to be the title of the episode. Mistakes were made.
Uriel will remember this.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You just pissed off a 15th level wizard, son.
Oh.
But yeah. So you return to Lord Simeon's estate, and you manage to catch the tail end of breakfast, and everybody's cavorting and talking. And after a while, Simeon simply says to you, "Go out and enjoy the festival. Lectures in the evening. Have fun. Relax. You've done far too much to not you deserve more than this." But yes, go have fun. I'll see you later.
Also, I'm imagining the harvester would pipe up as I leave Uriel. Like, ooh, that would be tasty, wouldn't it?
Perhaps.
Yeah, except the harvester.
Galen, yes, no?
Except the harvester would have his vessel get fucking
Oh, yeah.
bodied.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Oh dear.
Don't bite off all you can do.
But yeah. So you are free to enjoy the festival. The festival itself is a grand occasion. As you kind of leave and walk around the town, you can see these strings of colorful banners, and far more people than before walking about and checking out the stalls, playing some games, children running around having fun, that sort of thing. The entire town for this one day, or this entire city for this one day, is just having a blast. So, is there anything specifically you would like to check out to kill time before
I'm
Sweden's
allergic
lecture?
to fun.
Fair enough.
Max is having a mini panic attack over the sheer amount of people.
Oh, Max.
I didn't realize there were this many people. Holy shit.
I think I would like to at least be close to the rest of the group. I would be wearing my longsword on my hip. My normal longsword.
Yep.
And just look around, maybe find some games or something to spend some coppers.
Okay. Let's see. Sarinus says that I'll stick with you guys. I'm just looking for some food and drink, I suppose. But yeah.
Food sounds good.
There's these breaded sausages over there at the, and I point at this stall. They're very good, especially with the mustard. It's good. It's really good.
Corn dogs.
Yes.
Sho is going to skulk around and see what festival games are being played.
Okay. So festival games. Tarina's gone to get herself a corn dog.
I'll stick with the party, but if I see like some people struggling to get attention, I will walk over there, like somebody that's just a bit down on their luck, kind of thing. In regards to getting a crowd.
Okay.
Nice man.
Ziden. It's curious to see if any of the shops that we already know are doing anything special.
Okay. So, and Max, you're trying to hide, I guess.
That's basically Master's entire thing.
Yeah. Okay, so investigation rolls for me, please, as you hunt through the crowd to see if you can find anything of note.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh. It's an 8 for Ziden, a 1 for Hikan,
Oh.
and 14 for Sho.
Okay.
I'll help. I'll at least try and help look for things.
Oh,
Okay.
Shit.
24 max.
Okay. So,
A peerless vision to get the fuck out of everyone's way.
Yeah, Renji is there
Yeah.
just to have a good time. He's not looking for anything in particular.
yeah. Okay. So you kind of you trudge around to have a look and see if you can find anything. Hikan, from your perspective, you kind of look around and see that pretty much all the stalls are getting equal attention, as far as you can tell. The only ones that seem to not gain any, like, garner any attention that you can see, would be people who like the genuinely seedy stalls, like the guys who kind of just look rather menacing as they expect someone to come over and win their rigged game, or pay for their rigged game. Meanwhile,
Attempt.
Yeah, attempt. Ziden, you don't see any shops immediately, but we'll get to that when we reach Max's investigation.
Okay.
Sho, you find there are a couple of carnival games going on. There's like a ring toss. There's this one Lizzlefoss who isn't disguised in any way, who's kind of just sitting rather disinterestedly next to a stall which has like one target in the middle of this big open area, and from your perspective you see it bob around slightly, like it's just moving around a little bit. Another one is there's a nice big long table with these plates and everything, and a big boisterous announcer announcing the annual eating contest. And,
Oh boy.
Sharp
Interesting.
inhale.
and Max, the first stall that you find is a fairly colourful stall with a sign that looks just a little bit too long and is off center for a bit, like something has been snapped on this end. And you see a familiar Hylian in his waistcoat and twirly mustache and little hat, and he's just kind of looking around and inviting people over, and he's got a stall of like general goods, toys, and pastries.
Max, who's been like desperately trying to find something to distract him from all of the people, goes, "Hi, Sebastian."
Oh, hello! It's a good to see you again. Welcome to my stall. It's a good festival, yes?
Yeah.
Would you like a pastry?
Sure. How much should they?
Oh, it's a 3 a cup of pieces. You can have a chocolate one, or a strawberry one, or perhaps a little roll of pastry which has some meat and onions in the middle. And he's kind of just listing all these things off as he goes.
Max just basically grabs a random savory one and a random sweet one, and hands over the money.
Okay.
And it's like, so, how have you been?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. Businesses are great, you know. And this a stall. This a festival. So bright and loud and fun.
Fun. Yes.
He smiles, like a big smile, which is hard to tell, but you know.
Because he's a snake man.
Yeah.
Max attempts to smile as well, but ends up just sort of showing some teeth.
I like to imagine that he like disconnects his jaw so he can smile even bigger.
Aw. He's such a big snack.
Part of me wants to have round 3 versus Sho. The other part of me really wants to help Sebastian gain more customers.
We can do both.
Okay, cool.
While
So-
you're helping Sebastian, I am going to see that target thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So, Sho, you go over to the other Lizzle, well, the Lizzlefoss, the one Lizzlefoss, the only Lizzlefoss, who's kind of just sitting,
Yes.
sitting.
The best is perfectly novel Hylian. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
He kind of looks over, and he's wearing this kind of really it's like a tribal attire where he's got like a single shoulder sash with all these beads and feathers on it, but it's not like super ostentatious. It's kind of chilled out. And as you get closer to the stall, you see that the reason why the target is bobbing around, it's like strapped on a stick, which is strapped to the back of a cuckoo, which is just walking around in circles. And he says,
Hello? How might I assist you today? Would you like to be playing this little game that I have in mind?
Firstly, possibly. Secondly, that is devious.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Don't get very many
suckers.
customers, but that's why this bet is usually quite a good one.
and he holds up a single platinum piece.
How
I
much?
glance over, and Renji steps. I step next to Sho. Just
How much to buy in?
It's 5 gold pieces a go. You get 1 arrow on the bow, the regulation bow,
And he points at a very simple-looking short bow.
and you have to hit that target.
It's about the size of like a tea saucer.
Sho picks up the bow.
Okay.
He's used it before.
Yeah, you kind of yeah. You kind of have a glance.
He has basic martial training in like pretty much most weapons.
Yeah.
It's just that he prefers to use a sword.
Yeah. You kind of have a glance at it. You examine it. Seems like a pretty legit, very basic bow. Like the most basic it could possibly be. Certainly functions.
Sho flips over the 5 gold pieces.
Okay. He takes it by a second. Now then, once the game begins,
No refunds.
and
Of course.
and then he leans down to his side and pulls up a string. Ka-dunk! And then to the side of the small pen that these cuckoos are in, these grates lift up and a fuck ton more just mingle in. Not with targets on their back, but they scramble out, which causes the one in the middle to get panicked and it starts running around in circles frantically. If you'd like,
Oh, very devious.
Yes.
if you'd like to make an attack roll of some kind,
Sho takes a second and just like starts range finding with his finger.
mhm.
I knew you were going to do that. I just knew it.
That's great.
Oh,
So, True Strike has just been cast.
Yeah, and it has no components other than pointing at the thing. There's no effects whatsoever. I'm just like you. So he closes an eye. He starts range finding with his finger, just pointing at the target. It's like, okay, right. Knocks the arrow. Inhale. I'll just make it as martial arts, just because I don't have a.
Yeah, it's the same die.
It's same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Draws the bow. Inhale.
15. Okay. So, the arrow flies through the air. It's almost slow motion as you see the target almost reach it and then sails past and hits the wall at the back of the pen. And he says,
Tough luck there, my friend. At least you didn't hit the other things.
well, you tried.
Yeah.
Would you like another go?
Sho, easily antagonized by the challenge.
We're gonna come back 5 hours later and you're gonna still be trying to hit it.
Notorious man notorious for pointing at someone else who has a sword and says, fucking duel me.
He's gonna be broke.
Flips
little
over
dead.
another. I can run fast. You seem to think that you think I'm not going to activate the blade song the moment that I hit a cuckoo and run. Right.
Okay. I assume you cast True Strike again, and then.
Yeah. Starts range finding. It's the way like the finger that he's using to line the arrow up on the bow is the one he's pointing with, so it looks completely imperceptible.
Yeah.
Two.
Oh,
Same again.
Same again. Just like the arrow plants itself from the wall next to the other one.
The 5 gold pieces go down.
Again!
I will do this.
It is very much a case I'm taking that platinum piece, or I will in fact die trying.
all this for just one platinum piece?
You seem to misunderstand me. Dignity.
Well, he's already
is what
lost a
I'm
black.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've lost your dignities.
It's not about the money.
Sunken
I
past
just
fallacy.
need the win.
Fair enough, sure. I mean, I understand why you.
Laws of diminishing
good right
returns,
now.
indeed, but I need this.
So,
I
roll again.
I'm specifically trying to get under Sho's skin by saying
You've been under my
I
skin
understand.
since the day
I
met
understand
you.
why you need a win right now.
Oh. Make a Sho, make a wisdom save to not have this throw off your aim. Yeah, you got this.
I've been putting up with your shit since you were a child. You think I'm going to get pissed by this?
Oh, I thought you still. I thought you considered me as child still. So
Roll your attack roll, friend.
Fuck.
Oh, that's better. It's and you can see it wobbling around as it hits the target on the back of the cuckoo's back. The Lizard says, "Well, I guess that's a win for you." And pling, he like flicks the coin in your direction.
Sho catches it and just puts it in Renji's palm. It's like, treat yourself to something nice.
Yeah.
let me have a go.
If you insist.
I am going to use prestidigitation to make a gust blow in Renji's ears.
You will kill each other doing this. You realise that?
Oh yeah, we're building up the inevitable betrayal of Sho, obviously.
Okay.
But as I grab hold of the short bow,
Whoa. He's got
and I
leverage.
put down 5 gold pieces
Yeah.
of my own.
Mm.
Let's see, that is 5 pieces from here. I am going to use my Hex Warrior ability and make sure that I use my Charisma instead of my Dexterity.
Okay.
So I kind of channel some energy into the short bow.
Line up your sights well, young master. You wouldn't want to be a disappointment.
How can I ever be a disappointment, Sho?
I don't know. I'll ask
And,
Niners for you.
Oh!
And Sho skulks off, ready to eat some food.
Okay. That is
Make your
a,
wisdom check, boy.
let's see. That is a.
Yeah, make a wisdom save to see if that throws you off as well.
I make a wisdom save now.
Yeah.
You got money.
Oh,
Everyone gets
boy.
one.
11.
Okay. So I'd say that. Let's see. With an 11, I would say that would probably throw off your aim a bit, but not to the point of it being disadvantage. I'd say take a -2 penalty.
-2, so I only roll with +5.
Yeah.
D20 +5.
Get that platinum piece.
Oh, that's the wrong chat. Whoops.
Nani.
That's divided by 5.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
But that's but that would be 14,
Uh,
which would hit the back wall.
That would be a 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it lands in the back wall, a little closer for comfort than you would have wanted.
It like takes a feather.
I sigh. I put down this the short bow, which has started to give off these black motes of energy, and I say, "Well, I don't think I have it in me today."
Oh,
and I
that's
leave.
a pity. That's fine. Feel free to come
And
back
that will-
today.
Those motes of energy will come off of that for the next day.
You fucked up his bow.
Yeah.
He might think something's fucky.
If I was
Yeah.
cruel, I'd have like a Twilly epidemic going around because of that bow, but I won't be cruel. But yeah, so you guys skulk away from the area, approximately 10 gold pieces poorer than when you turned up.
Well, no. I have 5 more.
You have 5 more.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And I have a +5 in pride.
Yeah.
Because you gave me a platinum piece. And
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
gave
true.
the guy 5
That's
gold
fine.
pieces.
Yeah. But anyway,
Net
So
profit.
I am good.
so you head over to the so you kind of meet up with the others who are standing in front of this big long table of the eating contest.
Right.
And
Is there room for one more?
yeah, well,
Before we do that, to help Sebastian, what I wanted to do was to do a balancing act and get on top of my staff and shout like best pastries or well-made toys from like 12 feet in the air.
okay, make a performance check. 16.
That's a 16.
That's pretty good. So you kind of you hop on and fairly still you kind of sit there and you make your proclamation, and you see a bunch of people turn in your direction as you do so. Sebastian's down by the stand, he's excitedly clapping. And
Sho is going to back this. I'm going to use prestidigitation to make the odor of freshly baked pastries.
yeah.
I mean, I've got 2 in my hands in order for you to have an example.
Yeah, I'm doing the good old I'm using prestidigitation to warm them up so they have the nice the good pie steam, the good pastry steam, and they've got like a really fucking good smell.
Yeah, nice. So
Like pie in the windowsill levels of.
Yeah.
yeah. So as you,
And Matt is just eating them, going, "Yeah, these are good."
so you through your combined efforts, this rather large crowd begins to congregate around Sebastian's stall, and they pause a bit as they realize who Sebastian is. But when they kind of smell the pastries and they see Hikan doing his act and everything like that, they're like, yeah, okay, and they begin to buy them in copious amounts. And Sebastian's just really excitedly going through people and shaking their hands and just he's a good
He
egg.
definitely does the grab the hand both clasp shake.
Yeah.
And then I want to front flip off my thing and do
Please
like a
don't.
little bit of a bow and just
Please
say,
don't
and
shit.
remember, he has a general store over in the commercial district.
Awesome. I'll let you have that one for free. You kind of hop down and you see people turn around and say thank you, and then go about their business as well as enjoying the rest of the festival.
Prestidigitation to make a party popper sound.
I give Sebastian a thumbs up and then run to meet everybody at the eating contest.
Yeah. So you head over to the eating contest. You see this large man. He's kind of situating himself. You see sitting at this table, or sitting at the table already. You see a sorry, I'm drawing a blank. You see a Goron, and he's fairly slight for a Goron. He's got this he's kind of got this rather clean carved goatee beard and a little bow tie, and he's kind of just sitting there rather elegantly at this table. Next to him, you've got a fairly fairly burly dude who you might have seen at the slums at one point. He's just kind of leaning on the table and waiting. And then there are.
Is he the guy that sold me the thieves' tools?
No, the guy who sold the thief tools was a scrawny bastard. This guy's big. You might have seen him. You might have seen him in your travels through the place. But yeah, he's big and muscled, and he's bald. He's looking around, and he's just kind of waiting impatiently. And there are 2 available seats left.
Sho turns to Hikan. He takes off his hat.
I missed his no.
takes off his glasses, takes out his pipe, puts it all in his hat, and passes it to Max. And it's like, could you please keep a hold of these for me?
Sure.
Goes to Hikan, clasps fists together, and bows.
I return the gesture.
Yeah.
To an honorable duel.
Okay.
We have a score to settle.
I am so confused.
And
pulls out a Sheikah embroidered napkin, tucks it in.
So you head up to this head up on the stage, and you see the big guy. He's the big guy in front who's kind of been trying to gesture people to come up. He sees you two and is like, 2 more people to come and sample this fine contest of eating. Yes, we have our final 2 contestants. And there's a cheer. It's like, woo! As you guys are guided to your seats, and you have a plate, you have a knife and a fork, and there is a small cup of water. He says, the guy at the front says, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the annual eating contest. These fine individuals here will be taking in some of the finest food provided by some of our greatest bakers and chefs and butchers everywhere across Hyrule City. I provide to you the rules of this engagement. It is free to enter, and the prize is 200 gold pieces." And there's a ooh over the crowd. Now, this comes in stages. It is not strictly a race. You must eat as much food as you can. Every round we will refill your plate, and then if you are able to eat food, you will eat food. However, if you are unable to continue, or if you throw up, or if you pass out, then you are out of the contest. Last one standing wins. And there's a yay from the crowd. And
Battle of attrition.
And the man says, "Contestants, are you ready?" And there's a nod from the Goron and a nod from the bald guy.
Sho is basically saying grace. It's like, I appreciate the bounty you've given me. I apologize for the excess I'm about to partake in.
Hikan nods in thought, and I'm gonna make an intelligence saving throw to see if he thinks that he should scarf it all down fast or actually be smart about it.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Scarf.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Chug.
Okay. So, as you all kind of nod and give the ready, he goes, "Let the games begin!" And there's a group of people who bring up a plate around. So it's bigger than a normal plate and stacked about half a foot tall of food. And he just kind of places them down in front of you. This nice big pile of food. There's sausages, bacon, bread, various different kinds of meats and cheeses and vegetables, all piled in this one thing and slathered in this sticky honey gravy that just kind of radiates a sort of sweet smell from this entire plate of roasted food. And the man turns to you and says, "Go!" And I'd like, for this round, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw. In fact, it'll probably be Constitution saving throws for the whole thing, but it'll be easier as time goes by.
I burn a key point, use flurry of blows to chew faster.
I use a key point to use Step of the Wind to get more.
20.
Nice.
That's a 19 because of my lovely cape.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So you...
Going with it strategically, eating the meat, saving the bread after, because bread immediately fills you up.
Yep. So you kind of begin chowing things down. I'll see how the other two do. Okay, so as you begin nomming things down, you see the Goron at the other end is just rather daintily taking the knife and fork and is very cautiously just eating it at his own pace. The guy next to him, on the other hand, no,
Oh.
and just
Oh no.
like stumbles out of his chair and leans on the thing and just spits it back up. And the guy at the front says, "I'm afraid you are out!" And this bald guy says, and he stumbles off the stage. He rolled a nat 1 on his Constitution saving throw.
So he choked on the first bite.
He choked on the first bite.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. And then he turns around. As you guys finish up, you kind of wait a little bit. It's a good advantage of having this Goron here who's eating politely and properly, to not be scoffing it down, because then you get a chance to rest. And then he finishes, and then the plate's taken away.
Can we burn hit dice?
Oh God. Sadly, not that close of rest, but he. The guy at the front gestures more people to bring more food on. It's another plate stacked 3/4 of a foot tall. It's much more food this time. And it's like, go! And I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw. Oh, God.
That's a 15.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Okay. So you can...
Wait, can I true strike the food?
It's not an attack.
Damn.
Does the food count as a missile?
Only in certain contexts.
Just Sho just pointing at the plate.
Oh,
You. I'm gonna fix that spaghetti.
Oh man, so it's so you kind of eat through it. You slow down slightly as you get to the end, but you do manage to get through. You started to have the hiccups now. The Goron once again eating rather daintily, and then he gets halfway through it and pauses and contemplates something, and then places the knife and fork down and says, "I think I am done." And the guy goes, "Well, good to know that you've admitted defeat. If you'd like to leave the stage, please." And the Goron bows his head, stands up, and trots off the stage, leaving just the two of you.
Sho downs his water and is like, more.
And the place turn away, and more people, a foot tall of food now. And it says, "Go!" And there's like a chorus of chew, 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 chew from the crowd now, which has gotten slightly bigger. And yeah, Constitution saves, please.
I love how most of these
I
people
turn the chair and I just stare at Sho as I'm eating.
Sho does the same. Sho uses Find Familiar to summon the owl, and it sits on his shoulder and glares as well.
That's a 16.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20!
Nice. You pile through this food. Sho, you've now got a second wind so fierce, you just done, and you feel like you could really eat more right now. Right the fuck now.
As this happens, I start using prestidigitation in the crowd to go, Sho, 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 Sho. And like try and use it from different areas so that like the crowd picks it up.
Nice. So as you get to the end, Hikan, you eventually find yourself to the end. And you feel, oh, this is good food. This is really good food. And then the plate's taken away. Another plate, 1.25 feet tall. This pile of food.
Had enough yet, boy.
I'd be worried about heartburn, old man.
Oh my god. So you yeah.
Hikan's about the same age as Renji, isn't he? So
A little older, yeah.
A lot, yeah.
It's like, I'm not that old. I'm 27.
Go! And another Constitution saving throws, please. 21.
That's a 22.
22. And 16.
I'm holding on.
It's getting really tough now. Like, that second wind kind of falls flat in the middle of this next meal, and Sho, you have a moment where you're just like, Okay, and then slowly
Having
continue
some
on.
difficulty?
I'm putting in more plates since you've been in diapers, boy.
And the man at the front is, well, look at these fine gentlemen, eat this stuff. And there's like, yeah. Woo! As you finish, another plate all too quickly taken away and put back on, and it's go. Now, yeah, there's a 12.
That's a 13.
Oh, 13, and
Oh,
a
that's me.
6.
That's me.
Okay. So as you're kind of eating it, both of you pause at the same time. And there's a gurgle in both your stomachs, and you look over to each other as you realize this might very well be the end.
And tighten my lips to a line, and I'm just shaking my head really vehemently. No, no, no.
Sho's jaws clenching so tight.
And as you kind of like, there's that moment where you kind of just narrow your eyes at each other. The letterboxing comes in as you kind of do it. And eventually there's just this one saddening moment where Sho, you're just like, nope. And you turn behind you to the available space on the floor and just...
Oh, I vomit.
Yeah. Sad.
I can't keep it down.
It's a lot of food.
From the crowd, you hear, "Good show!"
And there's a raucous cheer, and it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner!" And goes over and pulls up your arm, Hikan, in like a victorious pose.
There's like one of those burps that doesn't quite feel like a burp, and Hikan like covers his mouth with his other arm. It's like,
Sho gets back up and does like this is showboating so much. He like barges past the guy and stares Hikan dead in the eye.
Hikan returns the stare.
Sho grabs Hikan's arm and lifts it up.
Yeah! Woo! Oh man! So there is a raucous cheer, and the guy leading the procession disappears briefly and comes back with a small sack full of 200 gold pieces and hands it to you, Hikan. And with another show of like, yeah, there's another cheer from the crowd, and they're all really happy. And then eventually the moment disperses, and some poor person from nearby comes over with like a mop and bucket and begins to clean the stage. And
Sorry.
Max has just been like standing completely blank faced this entire time.
You have the JoJo shadows over your eyes, like.
When you come to get your stuff back, he just slowly hands it back and just says, "I do not understand."
You will one day.
No, I refuse.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this is why I decided to opt out of the whole thing.
How does it feel coughing up your innards before like a crowd of 200 people?
Somehow feels better than becoming stone in front of fire.
Yeah, I imagine that that would suck.
No matter, it can't beat me fair and square.
Does anybody
Although,
have...
the only thing I imagine you'll be beating for the rest of the night is the toilet. Hikan, are you going to be okay? Tyrene, if he gets some water, I think he needs.
Oh, sure. There's a bar over there. I'll just go grab some from there. And
Sho sympathetically just rubs Hikan's back. It's like, there.
Tyrene disappears. And as she disappears from the bar itself, there is a sudden crash of glass as a body flies through the window and lands in a painful heap on the floor. It's this really big guy who's just been thrown. It's not the same guy that lost the eating contest, but this big dude has just been thrown out of this bar, and he just pushes himself up, and storming out through the door is this average height woman. She's got scars all over her face and one black eye, and she's got this long flowing red hair, of a fairly average build, and she looks pissed. And she kind of looks over there and says, "You! You don't ever do that to me again, you hear? Fucking prick!" Slam. Door closes behind her. And the whole congregation, who's kind of stopped in their festivities, turns to look at this guy, and he's like, right. And he painfully pushes himself up and limps off into the crowd. Tyrene just looks back.
Everything okay here?
Nice try!
Why do I get the feeling he deserved that?
Probably did.
Probably. Fine. Let's go have a look. And
Yeah.
yeah, into the bar, and there's this kind of this clear, like, you enter, and there's a lot of people in here. They're all kind of taking a break from the outside crowds and having their beer and drinking and chatting politely, though it's a little hushed. And there's a nice big wide area where there is blank space between them and this one woman who is sitting at the bar, elbows on the bar and just leaning there. And you can just feel the heat of anger radiate from her. And Tyrena looks at you guys and says, water, right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
heads over to the barman.
Show guides Hikan to a seat.
Yeah. Raises a hand and gets the bar person's attention and asks for some water. Eventually finds you guys at your table and provides you with a pitcher. And just, there you go.
No, use it to
I
wash it
sipping.
down.
I sip at the
Good.
pitcher. Just
Well
just the
done.
whole pitcher.
Well done.
Yeah.
Don't drink large gulps, you'll probably throw up.
Yeah, it certainly helps. Definitely helps. As you kind of just sit and just relax. Stomach pains slowly subsiding from the, Jesus Christ, the amount of food you've just consumed.
Max is still wide-eyed staring at both of you.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Whew.
Sho pours himself from the pitcher a glass of water and takes sips himself, like,
You're gonna need to after vomiting.
You guys really know how to put it away.
My legs are empty.
Fair enough.
I'm glad that the one joke that Sho tries to make falls on dead air. Exactly as all is right in the world.
Just as planned.
All according to fucking KKK.
Would lesser restoration be able to help them with their suffering?
I would say so. Like, it's a severe discomfort.
Points that can't. Him first.
Yeah.
He'll go over and cast lesser restoration on Hikan.
Okay.
Thank you, Ziden.
Although I do believe that might expedite the process, you might need to go to a bathroom.
Tyrena glances around and says, "I think there's one over there."
You
Okay.
basically, through the help of magic, you have digested all of that food in one.
Yeah.
How far away is it?
It's like 20 feet.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to be like, yeah, no, I just used, like, everything I can as movement actions to make it there in time.
Try not to shit yourself.
Because that's like 135 feet of movement.
Yeah.
Do you need a good berry?
I don't think more nutrition is what he needs.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh man. But yeah.
I mean, we could squish it together so it's only wafer thin.
One wafer thing with berry.
But yeah.
Why would you eat it? Because it is a wafer thing.
But yeah, so as you guys kind of relax, the woman at the bar just kind of, and pushes herself off the bar, drops a couple coins on the bar, and then storms out, pushes the door open, slams it shut behind her again.
Hell hath no.
Yeah, best to keep an eye on that, I think. Not exactly good to have a very angry person at a festival.
I did not mean to click that, my bad.
That's fine. That's okay.
Oh.
So, anything else you guys want to do at the festival before heading towards Simeon's lecture?
I'm gonna go get some air.
Okay.
I just breathe it off.
Okay.
Ziden's going to continue his charitable works and go buy, say, 50 gold of various pastries and other treats to take to the slum children.
Okay. You pretty much clean out like several stalls, but it is a hefty haul, and
Hefty, you say? Into the bag of holding.
that's true.
Ziden is Santa now.
Yeah.
Food Santa.
Yeah.
All according to cake.
Yeah, that's right.
So you disappear with the food and pass it to the children of the slums, and they're very, very happy, especially since it's not good berries today. But they are very happy with what you brought them, and they continue to shower praise upon you. The parents especially, for allowing them to enjoy, at least to an extent, the festival, since they lack the money. They aren't really able to do so. Yeah, they are remarkably pleased. And Sho, you're just getting some air? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay.
I zoned out for a second.
I thought I disconnected because everybody went quiet then. And it's like,
No, I'm just going for a walk.
Okay. It's gonna...
Just away from the crowd a bit, find some alleys, just pace.
Yeah.
Walk off. Yeah. Breathe, no smoking, just fresh air.
Decompress slightly.
Decompose, more like.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody wanted to do before we skip to the lecture that people are attending, if people are attending it?
I think Renji will want to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
He also wants to get his mind off of things.
Yeah. Okay. So, you head over to after when the day starts wearing down and the sun begins to set. You head through the town, through the noble district, and find the plot of land that has been designated as Lord Simeon's graveyard allotment. A lot of the nobles have their own like allotment for their families and trusted workers and everything like that. Basically, people they've designated as you can be buried here and be revered as being buried here as part of an older tradition.
Rich people.
Yeah. But as you arrive, you can see that there's a sizable amount of people. You can see at the very least like 8 other people who are kind of gathering around Simeon, who's standing next to his mausoleum. The actual graveyard itself seems to consist of a fair few graves, and is kind of cordoned off from the main road by this 5-foot tall stone wall, and there are statues of angels in prayer going up this cobblestone path. And Simeon is standing next to this mausoleum, this small building, which is about 15 feet by 15 feet along and 10 feet tall. As he's kind of going over notes in his head, and he glances over and he sees you and says, "Oh, hello! Thank you all for coming. It's good to see you."
Good evening, Minister.
Yes.
It is it's a quiet night as far as the festival goes, and I think Most of us need that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I suppose most of the festivities happen during the day, but well, I have no doubt there are going to be some revelry for individuals during the night. Isn't that right? Excellent. So feel free to take position. I think this will be enough of a crowd to begin today's lecture. Again, thank you all for coming along.
Oh, interested in hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, and as you guys kind of situate yourselves among the crowd, Simeon stands before them and kind of puts his hand together and smiles and says, now, welcome back to one of our regular lectures in regards to the history of Hyrule as far as we understand it. I would like to go over today the idea of heraldry and iconography among certain family lines and clans, and generally the symbolism that might have occurred here. And I thought, what better place to do it than where it is plastered almost everywhere of my family's graveyard. And I do apologize about the grim setting. It's literally the only place I could think of when I was trying to come up with the lecture. And he gestures a hand over to the headstones, where you can still see the faded sort of symbol of his family, with the shield and the books and everything like that, the guardian of knowledge, as it were. And he says, now, each aspect of the heraldry here suggests an aspect that our family has of import, or a great victory that we might have had. Lord Das is a champion of Chronica, so his family line would have cogwheels engraved in all these different areas, in addition to like areas of time and the great victories, or the great duty that he feels to his family. And this dates back to quite a while ago, and it's always this sort of thing, because these forms of heraldry allow onlookers to who may have tangentially heard them to recognize them immediately when seeing their banner over the horizon. And it runs a bit deeper as well. And he turns around and he takes an object, looks like the astrolabe that you found way back when, and he places it in a groove in the door of the mausoleum, and there's a click as he turns it. And he removes it.
Is it the exact astrolabe, or is it similar?
It seems to
different.
be seems to be similar.
Okay.
And he doesn't he pushes the door open very slightly and says, now, usually my family is rather private with their affairs, but I am the only one left, and I feel like it's only right to allow people who have put their faith in me as their noble of education to allow them to see the inner workings of everything. And there's nothing sinister in here, I assure you. It's just more ideologies and iconographies of older generations. And as he says this, almost in slow motion, because it happens so quickly, a large skeletal hand shoots out from the darkness in the door, snags him across the top of the head, grips him, and pulls him back through it before the door slams shut. And the crowd, the small crowd that's around you, just like screams and begins to look around and ask each other what's going on, what's happening. And then the ground around the graves near you begins to rumble, and then rotted and skeletal limbs poke themselves out of the ground. And I would like everybody to roll initiative for me, please.
Sho stands bolt upright.
We're gonna need our tokens to roll initiative.
Oh yeah, I should probably bring you over
Who's
to
that, please?
the battle map.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'd like you to place
battle
yourselves
map.
within that green box as well, where you might be standing.
Okay.
So he'd be giving the show from there.
Yeah.
This is I think you could say that this is bad.
Just a bit.
Okay. Let's see.
I was going to wait for it to be done, and then I was going to be all like, what do I roll to, since I want to keep it as in character as possible to not get bored? But this works too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to turn that down as well. That's actually rather loud. Where is it? Dramatic boss fights. That'll do. All right. Roll 20. Why are you being so slow tonight? That'd be Tyreena's initiative. And because it takes them a while to come out of the ground, I'm not giving the undead a surprise round.
Can we have a round to act?
No, because it happens out of because it technically would have been a surprise round because you didn't see it coming, but because they're acting so slowly, it kind of cancels out to normal initiative.
Oh, okay.
We just come out the cutscene.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna put you on the GM layer a second, and then GM overlay. Okay, then back onto this one, and then I was gonna say I did.
Uh-oh, don't like that 20.
I do not like that 20 either.
Okay, and then GM info over there. And that one.
That 20 is Simeon's initiative, obviously.
Yes.
I hope
It can't be anything
it's.
else that is hidden from us.
I hope it's the civilians.
Oh yeah, civilians. You should probably roll for them.
Well, that answers that question.
I need them to leave.
Got a 10 on their initiative. At 10. Okay. So, initiative goes Sho Daius, then zombies, then Hikan, then Renji, then Ziden, then the civilians, then the Stal children, then Max, and then finally Tyrena. Away you go.
Sho me first things first turns and shouts, "Everybody run!" to all of the civilians. It's like, Tyrena, break that door down!
Got it!
Renji, Max, Hikan, Ziden, we will keep the undead at bay.
Got it.
Protect the civilians first and foremost. I activate the blade song.
Mm-hmm.
I go here, and I first strike out at this Staljar with my sword.
Okay. You cut through bone and deal a grievous wound to the Stal
Activate the power of Musique.
Oh, you've already used the bonus action to blade song.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is it a bonus? It is. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Then I'm going to stand defensively.
Okay. There's the zombies go. This one corpse just kind of looks over this ragged clothes and the jaw hanging slack. Turns to you, Sho, and lazily throws a hand out to try and slap you. And gets a 12 and misses completely.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the two zombies that are next to Tyrena will attack her because she's a shiny paladin lady, and they take offense to that.
How dare you be so shiny?
21 for 3, so she takes 3 points of bludgeoning damage. There is a club of like punk. Then they will do so again.
Blocks one, but gets slapped by the other.
And the other one does it and misses. Yeah, it's just clunk. Okay, so Zombles can move 20 feet, so this one's going to go over here. This one, I'm going to say that the undead are so stupid that they can't move past each other, so I'll have this one go over here. And then I think that's it for the zombies. Hikan.
I had a plan, and then this guy got in the way.
Oh.
Actually, no. I'm gonna use my first attack to hit the zombie right next to me.
Okay.
That's a 19 for 6.
Okay.
And it's bludgeoning.
Slap the zombie across the face. Bam! With your quarterstaff.
And then I'm going to attempt to stun it with a key point.
Okay. DC 14 Constitution saving throw, and it gets, when the box comes up to let me roll, a 10. So it is stunned.
Paralyzed.
So paralyzed means that they can't take attacks of opportunity, correct?
Let's see. You hit a creature, target see safe saving will be stunned until it. So yeah, they just can't take an action, and they shouldn't be able to take reactions if they're stunned.
A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can speak only falteringly, but it's a zombie. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws, and attack rolls against creature have advantage.
That will do. Okay.
It's the equivalent of holding person for one turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Though not as devastating.
No, not as devastating. Minus the crit shenanigans, but you have advantage to hit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, then I'm going to run over here.
Okay.
And I'm going to... This is a bit of a gamble, but I'm going to spend another key point to do Flurry of Blows.
Yep.
And I'm going to attempt to stun... I'm going to put one hit on each of the things within my radius and attempt to stun all 3 of them.
Okay.
Wow.
Boy.
So 25 on the zombie for 8.
Yep. So that definitely hits.
21 for 8 on one of the skeletons.
Okay. I need to see if they have the vulnerability bludgeoning. They should do. They do. So you just disintegrate this one style child.
Cool. So then the other stall child is the nat 1. So
Ah, dang. Yeah, it sails overhead. And I'll do a Constitution saving throw for. Are you going to spend a key point for the Constitution saving throw for the zombie?
yes. So that's 3 key points I've used this turn.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
You
And that one makes
it. Yeah. Yeah. Like you pop his arm loose in his shoulder, but it seems to roll with the hit. He's not.
I will go.
Okay.
I will go ahead and use the rest of my movement to flank the zombie with Sho,
Okay.
and that'll be my turn.
Nice. Renji.
In that case, okay. I kind of want to lean forward to the zombie that is northwest of me, and I kind of wanted to focus on me. And as I do that, I jab my hand forward, and I want to form my packed weapon
In it.
point forward. If that is possible.
Okay. Make
You're doing the Keyblade summon in them.
Yeah.
Sing or
Make an attack roll with advantage. I'm gonna say for this one with advantage, but I might have to think about that at a time.
Well, the thing is, technically, I can form the blade and not attack. So that is, I'm trying to
Yeah,
cheese a bit.
it is. It would be a bit cheesy to just like get free damage, though. I think.
Yeah.
Um.
I understand making the attack roll. I just thought I'm getting advantage with this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's how I'll think about it a bit later. But for now, see, it seems like a good idea.
Okay.
I think it's
advantage
fine. In the
The
sense
rule
that
of cool.
17 to hit for 6 piercing damage.
Okay, you deal 6
I
piercing.
think it's fair. It's like the equivalent of like if you made the swing of the sword with your hands and then you just summon the blade before you actually make the connection.
Yeah.
And can I then, with a bonus action, grab the roll of the Pact Keeper?
Yes.
Okay, I do that.
Okay. Then.
With conjure animals, if they get a higher initiative than you, do they get a turn or not?
I'd say that the turn would have to cycle back around to where they would normally be in the combat. But let's see. Could you click the spell? Each beast is considered fey. Occupy space you can see within range, which is 60 feet. Summon creatures are friendly to you. DM has creature statistics. Okay. Yeah. So I'd say it wouldn't give them a turn retroactively if it was higher than you, but when the next round happens, they would be there. So it's like they have a bit of summoning sickness. They have to wait for their turn to naturally come around at that point.
So how many of what?
Mostly I was trying to think of some way of distracting the zombies to let these civilians here and here get away safely.
Well, I mean, looking at it, you can summon 4 beasts of challenge rating half. Do you know what you can do with that?
I know what I could do. So
You can summon 4 black bears.
that's not what I'm going to go for. So if they run to there... So if they disengage and run to there, if they're smart enough, I just need to block this zombie and that zombie, really.
Okay.
So I will summon 4 apes.
4 apes.
Do we?
Don't know if I have stats for apes. I will grab and drag them in, though. I really should have prepared for this.
They are challenge rating half, quarter, half. Yes, half.
Okay.
AC 12, hit points 19.
So what's the flavor text of your summoning of these monsters? Or these beasts?
Flavor text, okay. So in the 4 spots I will designate, there's a sudden flurry of leaves and little sparkly glowing shines, little knocking noises of nuts and rocks against each other as the forms start to flicker and take stronger and deeper forms. Dark-skinned, short fur, squat forms glaring intensely at the zombies.
It's getting there. It's just loading the character sheet because I had to pull it from the compendium.
Basically, they appear like the Kokorok from Breath of the Wild.
All right.
Oh yeah,
With the jingle.
Koroks that you got.
That was it.
Yeah. Getting there. What I'll do for the sake of expediency, I will grab my monster manual and. Although, hold on, it might be in the back.
I was thinking like Pharaoh's Wind. Like they do the.
They go on initiative 6.
Go on initiative 6, so they will go after Tyrina. Let's see.
Yes. Probably.
Oh, okay. Question is the token on the board? Because I don't see it.
It's over here.
Over there, okay. Alright, it'll take a while for it to load. Or it'll take a while for it to load on my screen anyway. Right, so I'll pull that one over there. Just going to very quickly refresh the page. So for those on the live stream and those in the podcast, the music might get a touch loud. Although I wish I haven't refreshed now, because that means all the external character sheets I've just opened will now go away.
No.
There they go. Bye. Come on, Roll20. I don't know why it's being so slow today. It's like, I'm wondering if something else I've got currently going on is taking up a bunch of CPU space or memory. Wouldn't imagine it would be the case though. Oh well. Crafting spell list. Come on. I hate long loading screens. Although I do see where the ape is on the camera. It's bizarre it's loaded there before it's loaded on my DM screen. Gathering steam. Yes, Roll20. Gather more steam, please, if you could. Okay. I do apologize if this runs a little bit later than we usually do, but yeah. Okay. So let's see. So the apes spawn in. I will eventually copy and paste another 3 apes in there when the rest of the map loads. All I've got is a white grid at the moment with a small block of fog of war.
Oh dear.
There we go. Oh, it's loading in now. There we go. Game, why you like this?
So, interesting lecture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We learned things, then we had to fight all sorts of creatures.
A bit too interesting.
Too interesting.
Yay, I see 4 monkeys.
Yay.
Monkeys.
I will. There we go.
Ooh,
Dooby-doo.
4 apes.
Sweet.
I wanna be like you.
Okay, so you spawn these apes in, and then when the server stops saying that connection to the server has been interrupted and lets me actually fucking do things, I'll move them in locations that you specify. I'm just waiting for the whole map to actually finish its nonsense. Oh, this is actually agonizing. Okay. Like I was to go off on a bit of a tangent at the moment. I remember having a particular problem with internet at work last week where it was so slow. YouTube videos at the lowest quality would buffer. Like at 166p, if it buffers, holy shit.
I had at work once. We used to have it. It was really very good. Then one time we got hacked, and somehow.
Okay.
I'm not going to point names at certain people. And then
I'm just gonna ask, have you mentioned them to me before?
I doubt it was them. Don't think they were
Okay.
there at the time it happened.
Right,
But I think it was someone in our office area.
Alright.
right.
But anyway, so that happened. The internet became shit for a while, as all we got to know until after they resolved it. And then they decided to go from having everything like immediately accessible via a sort of networked, everything saved on hard drives, whatever, to everything's on the cloud forever and always.
Oh.
Oh
Shite.
no.
Which means
boy.
trying to do any searches just takes forever.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, no.
Like
Sorry, I've managed to get into the though I will have to delete these monkeys
Hey.
because they haven't properly macroed. Come on, there we go. Alright.
I was about to say, I'm in.
1, 2,
Monkey.
3. Right. Okay. So, where the fuck are these things going?
Okay, one in front of this zombie,
One in front of that zombie.
one in front of this zombie,
One in front of this zombie.
one here
One there.
to block the Style Children.
Yep.
And if they run, they can go 30 to there, then out, so I don't need to worry them. So one there? Yeah, one there. Just in top.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. Sweet.
And my orders to them are to protect the civilians and kill the undead.
Okay.
And they go on 6. Then I will use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh on my stuff.
Sweet. Okay.
It's my whacking stick.
My walking stick's ready.
Sweet. Okay, so then as civilians go, having been given the order to run, they will disengage and fucking leg it. 1, 2, 3,
Scarpa.
4, 5, 6,
Good
7.
plan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, there we go.
Do those ones that ran by the paralyzed zombie have to disengage?
No, but they're going to do so anyway because they don't usually fight. They don't fight undead, so they don't have a feasible grasp on combat.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just figured I'd ask.
Okay.
About this one.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Also, I accidentally drew things. Sorry.
That's alright. It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one there. 1, 2, 2, 3, 5. So it gets to there, right? And I'll get rid of these. There we go.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so civilians attempt to flee. Style child or style children. They're gonna kick it into high gear.
Oh boy.
This one's going to clatter all the way over here, and is going to it was originally a short sword, but it's meant to be like a claw, so he's going to claw you. Ignore the fact that it comes up as short sword. 22.
God damn! Alright.
Ouch.
For dealing 6 points of piercing damage. It throws out its claws at you.
The zombie was a monk in a past life.
The Style Child next to Sho will do the same thing to Sho. Getting a 21 to hit for another 6 piercing damage.
Hit me.
Oh no, you can't, your hit points.
It's acting funny on my end.
Okay.
just drops like Toy Story style. Just put.
Okay, this Style Child is going to claw at this ape. 22 to
Monkeys
hit
versus
for-
bones. Monkeys versus bones. Everyone
That
wants to see this fight.
They have 19 hit points base.
They do. I've got their stats now.
Good.
Yeah. Then this one's going to clatter over here and also attack the monkey. For 12, so it misses. They're undead. They don't have the foresight to flank.
Good work, monkey.
This one's going to go up to this monkey. Is going to stab it with its claws. 7 misses. This one's going to move over here and also stab at the monkey, or stab at the one south next to Tarina.
Okay.
I believe it's a 12. Yeah, 12, which it misses. And then this one's going to go over to clatter over here to Renji to go around the headstone.
I wish he didn't, but sure.
Getting a 17 to hit.
I don't have my shield, so 17 just hits.
Okay, you take 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then this one's going to...
Now, if I had my mithril half plate...
Okay, right. So that'll be their turn. Max.
How nice of all these style children to form and
A neat line.
Oh no!
oh yes.
Oh!
That's brilliant. I love it. Thank
Unlimited.
Just gonna twirl the staff around.
People in
Torrent
line.
fox comes off the side. Aim it like a snooker cue.
On the hill.
Boom.
Quarter pocket.
3 1s on the damage, but
And 2 2s. Wait, 3 2s.
It's still 18 damage. Jesus.
there's big
But
blinding and very loud bolt of lightning just tears through these lot.
Bye!
Okay. So, gonna do the Style Children first. We have 1, 2, 3 Style Children who are affected by this lightning bolt. Let's see. First one fails, taking 18 and disintegrating before you. Next one down the line. Fails, also disintegrates.
good.
This one. The next one after it. Fails, disintegrates from lightning. That's all the Style Children. Now for the zombies, who have even less of a bonus.
Cue the scene of Cell being blown away by the Kamehameha. Dun, 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 dun.
Fails. Takes 18 damage. Needs to make a Constitution save of DC 5 plus the damage taken. So that's he's not gonna do it. He's just not. It's this zomble's gone.
Can he possibly get a 23?
No. Next one. Gets 1,
That's
Okay.
a 1.
but was at full health and has enough hit points to survive. Just.
There are 3 zombies.
There are 3 zombies, and then this last zombie. Yep. Also fails. And also is brought down to the bare minimum of hit points, but still standing.
Good
That
work,
was-
Max.
That was a good
All yours,
round.
boys. They just so spin the staff down and glare at the Style Child that's right next to me.
Tyrena's gonna kind of weigh your options. Like, should I finish this zombie or should I go to the turns to the ape? Have you got this? And it's like, and it's like, right, okay. Is going to she's gonna run for it and take the opportunity attack. Odd that zombies get
It
reactions.
just turns to it. Have you got this? Do. I want to be like.
Slam manages just enough to get the AC,
Collapse her a
dealing
bit.
6 bludgeoning damage to her. But she runs over and she's going to use her action to attempt to pry open the stone door.
Wait,
Oh,
apes
no,
have
no,
Sentinel,
no.
right? Kappa.
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's a joke.
Oh, right.
Okay.
She's going to roll her athletics. Getting a nat 20.
Oh.
That poor door.
Yeah, just like magically enhanced strength fingers tear through the stone, and she just like rips the door off. And it slams in a pile of rubble next to her side, and she looks over, and her face just kind of goes white. So that was her go. The apes. The apes are going to follow the commands as much as they possibly can do. They're gonna attack. Oh god, they get multi-attack.
Yep, that's 8 attacks now.
8 attacks. Yep. So the one facing the zombie who is almost dead goes for the banana slammer and misses. Wait, does it miss both
Ooh, boy.
times? I think he just misses the once because zombies have an AC of like 8.
CG.
Yeah. So he gets 1 hit.
Coconut gun.
The zombie now needs to make a DC 9 Constitution saving throw. He takes it down! Rolls a 5 on the Constitution saving throw.
These are the
Thank
best
goodness.
apes.
Oh my god, these
Nimble
undead,
when it
these
needs to
undead
be.
suck so much at saving throws.
They do. They can hit,
This
but they
calm
can't
has a
fucking
funny
save.
face.
The other one up top is going to attempt to do the same thing. It's gonna-
So they're finally here.
Gets a hit, for the 7 damage, which should be enough to kill it if it can't make its DC 12 or DC 13 saving throw. Nope. It is down. This zombie is pummeled. Ape just like slamming against it, forcing the fucking like skull to cave in. You guys are just tearing shop here.
Power of Monkey.
Monkey. Then the other ape facing 2 style children, gonna do 1 attack, and then the other one. Both of them hit. So let's see. I'm gonna say it'll focus attack on one style child and bludgeons it into. Oh wait, no. Bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning. Yeah. Just.
Why'd you think I went with apes?
Yeah. Takes it down.
Monkey paw. It's fucking DK neutral B.
Oh, that one can go punch the other zombie.
The big wind up.
Yeah.
Before the punch.
Goes over and punches that zombie. Let's see. This is a very busy combat session.
So many
Okay.
things.
Deals 4 damage. It just clubs this zombie in the face. Right.
Where's its other attack?
Oh yeah, right. I thought it was already facing a thing, but it wasn't.
That one technically still had another attack.
Yeah, it did. 13. Okay, so that's another 6 damage on top of that. Okay. Let's see. So that one up there went for the attack and killed it. At which point it's going to come over here, going to weave through the civilians, and then up for 5 with another fist. Actually hits, dealing 5 damage. How much hit points does it have? Still up.
That's the stunned one as well.
Yeah. And then this one goes over here. That's the zombie. Didn't want to do a zombie slam attack. Wanted to do ape fist attack.
That one attacked twice already. I think that's all of their attacks now.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought this one nailed his zombie in the first hit.
Oh, I didn't know he'd attacked twice, and actually he was the first to miss with a 7.
Oh yeah, so he was. Okay, never mind. So he'll move over there anyway, but he won't. He won't attack because he's used his attacks. Okay. Right.
Maybe next combat I'll just control my animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your summons are shenanigans.
Okay. At the top of the round, Sho.
It's me.
Yep.
Eightfold blade, the zombie. Swing.
That's a hit
Ah.
for 9.
All right.
They have an AC. They have an AC of 8.
Sweet.
Zombies aren't good at the dodging.
They have
No,
hit
apparently
points.
not.
That is their job.
And now it's time to use my flurry of blows. And what I do is I basically just it's like prepare the flurry of blows, and I just whip around and punt this style child in the fucking head. Ba-na-na-na-na, bonk.
That's a hit for 8 damage. You like fucking football field goal his head over a nearby wall. There's a crash as the bones fall silent.
And then whip around to roundhouse the fuck out of the zombie.
That's a trade. That's so that's 8 damage. 8 plus 5 is 13. So he's going to try and make a DC 13 saving throw. He does! He's brought down to 1 hit point. You feel bones crack and you see the jaw fly off in a different direction, but he still stands. This determined undead is just hanging in there, and it's really irritating.
That's fair. But it seems like we've got the Rick and Morty DMX moment where Hikan's going to come up behind him and fuck him up.
Tap him on the shoulder. Punch him when he spins around.
Flag. Run, man.
Yeah. Okay. Then top of the round. there is more rumblings
Oh, fuck. Holy fuckles.
as more corpses pull themselves from the ground. But they don't get to
If
act
any
as-
are next to Hikan, he just pushes them back down like Luffy.
Yeah, just.
This one up
no.
here is particularly interesting.
Oh! Oh no!
Can we not?
Kind of slinks itself out of the floor.
Why have you done this? Why have you done this to us?
Turns its attention to the currently fleeing civilians next to it.
Oh god.
Meanwhile, at the door, Tyrina is knocked back, thrown away from the door, and slides back onto her feet here, as stepping out from the mausoleum, soaked in blood and deeply chuckling, is this giant armored skeleton with rusted weapons, and that is where we'll end the session for today.
Fucking Stalfos. Oh.
And with
I
that,
do not like these.
thank you guys for joining me on this roller coaster of emotions and food and undead. I have been ArticulateT, the GM, for episode 21 of Hyrule Chronicles. With me today, I've had Sho Daius being played by SteveTheSeregios.
I'm scared.
I have Hikan CO being played by Alvarance.
And you told me explosives were a bad idea.
I have Renji, Heir of Nihilus, being played by TheNetherlad.
You know, we could have done this in a week. I'd have better AC.
Playing Ziden Shari, I have RoboPirate.
Hello, goodbye.
And playing Max, I had Keastreth.
I'm so happy about that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it's your signature move, and you've done it perfectly.
Simple
I'm
geometry.
so happy to have lightning.
Mhm.
And,
It's my favorite.
and we'll see you guys next time, where we'll start off with in the midst of combat against a horde of nefarious undead. Bye!
Bye.
Bye!
Oh, you poor civilian.
Podcast recorded.
Oh my.
Okay. So, how you feeling?
Fuck you.